Hey guys, Meesman here back with another Identity 5 video. In this video I'm going to be showing you guys some more of my Violinist gameplay. So without further ado, let's take a look. Alright, so now we're going to take a look at game number 1. And before we get too deep into this video, I would like to plug that I'm part of a new clan named Mayhem. And we are currently accepting applications into the clan to participate in tournament play with us. So if you are at all interested, the Discord link is in the description below. Anyways, let's take a look into it. So this prospector was going around that area, ended up just sort of like gifting me that hit there. So this is already tilted in my favor. But the prospector does have a lot of kiting potential, so I know I can't waste too much time here. So watch what I do here. I have a little bit of patience here. I wait until he's about to go through it, and then I end up taking him out. And that is an extremely first down, especially with a violinist that has super powerful camping. Oftentimes I've been able to get wins even after there have been like 2 ciphers remaining, just because his camping is just so good. Because you're able to get an early hit, sometimes even double hit the rescuer, if not hit both the rescuer and the player being rescued after the chair. And then you just sort of wait out last effort here. But I do end up missing that note there. And I somehow missed that as well. But I'm still hot on the prospector's tail here. I'm going to use a charge attack, make sure I don't miss that, because that was an important hit to get. And I'm going to go ahead and take the prospector out to a chair. I'm going to throw down my peeper because I heard the audio effects of that cipher being decoded. And I know the merc just came from around there, so I don't want that to get decoded very quickly there. So there's 3 ciphers remaining. I've got my second chairing. They are cipher rushing, but overall I'm doing pretty alright here. There's a gravekeeper here, and the gravekeeper is actually going to try to dig here, but I end up hitting him up. And I somehow get juked here a couple of times, but either way he's not going to be able to rescue, so I'm not going to be concerned with him too much. And the mercenary is coming for the rescue here. I knew that the chair was about to be over. He doesn't have tide, so I'll be able to get this down pretty fast. I'm not too concerned about that. It would have been nice to stuff the rescue, but I could just use my final ability there to take him out. So now I'm going to be taking the prospector to the chair again. I know the merc's got to be somewhere close by. I mean, I'm going to try to look for him, but also keep an eye out for any ciphers that might be being decoded. I thought I saw him go this way, so this is the way I'm going to go. I'm also going to throw down my peeper. As I've said in other videos, when you play peepers, whenever you walk by a cipher, you just throw it down. That's all you do. And I'm going to go ahead and pass through here. Again, walk by a cipher, throw down a peeper. That helps a lot to counter the cipher rush that often happens. And I'm using my patience here with my notes because I know I don't want to miss. I end up placing that a little bit too late, but I now know that the gravekeeper doesn't have any shuffles, so his kiting potential is extremely limited. I'm going to place my peepers here just so that I can have a better aim on my notes. I'm going to go ahead and just take a swing at the gravekeeper here. And so now I know that I've got to end up... He ends up transitioning through here, but he could have actually ended up working around those pallets there. But he decides, okay, I want to make it in the hospital here. So I'm going to again place my notes here, and I end up downing the gravekeeper, being very careful about my note placement right there. So now the gravekeeper is going to the chair. It'd be tough for either survivor to save mercenary because he's already injured, and prospector just because prospector isn't usually a pretty great rescuer anyways. He's more of a kiter class character, and doesn't have he does have a decoding debuff, but he gets calibrations more quickly, and if you hit perfects, then it just about cancels out anyways. So I'm going to be looking around for where that rescue is coming from. I know my tinnitus is going off, so I have a feeling they're going to be coming through hospital, somewhere from that area of the map. And I do end up seeing the mercenary here. I thought he was going to be using his elbow pads there to try to get right past me, so that's why I was a bit more careful about that. So I'm able to place my note here, use my ultimate ability. Although they both managed to miss. The prospector made his way to the chair, but the mercenary is downed. But I'm still going to chase the gravekeeper because I want to secure this down, because there's only one cipher remaining. And I saw that the prospector was here, so I know that I don't quite have to worry about a cipher pop right away. And that's another down for me. So at this point, the mercenary either needs to manage to heal up and attempt a rescue, or that prospector is going to have to go for a rescue. Oh wait, never mind. He was dead on chair. I guess that makes my job a lot easier. They did end up popping that cipher, but I'm on a survivor's track, so there's not a good chance of that survivor making it out. I kind of walked into that pallet stun there. I thought the survivor was just going to keep running and try to transition. But now that I know where he's at, I'm in a really great position. We're far from the gates. I'm using patience with my final ability. And I end up terror shocking the mercenary to put him on the chair. So at this point, I believe just the prospector ends up leaving. I take the mercenary to the chair here, and yeah, that's about it for match 1. So now we're going to take a look at another match, which is actually on a larger map. So let's take a look at some Leo's Memory gameplay with Violinist. For most hunters, Leo's Memory is a pretty bad map. I don't particularly like playing Violinist on this map. The only hunters that I think are pretty actually good on this map would have to be Bloody Queen and Wu Chang. I have seen some Rippers be successful on this map. However, overall, being that it's such a large map with quite a few really good kiting areas, like this factory here is really good for survivors still. Even after the nerf to the factory, it's still extremely strong for survivors. And I end up finding the seer here. I forgot who I banned with this match. I might have banned Priestess. Yeah, that's probably what I went with. I don't really like Priestess on this map because it's such a large map, and being that she can force you to switch to teleport. I was able to hit the seer there by predicting his window vault there as soon as my cooldown completed. So I'm going to go ahead and continue chasing the seer here. And I'm just going to try to swing, hit him with some notes. And there's this God palette here. And what I mean by God palette is there's no way for me to try to juke around it. I have to hit that palette there. So I place the note down here. I do end up missing that, but either way I can charge attack and get a terror shock. So that's a slower down than the first match, but still not a terrible speed, especially on this map. This map is extremely large, and there are a lot of great kiting areas for survivors if they know how to transition and all that. So I'm looking around trying to find where that survivor might be, and the mercenary actually ends up getting ahead of me. That was really close on the seer. I was just short on the line though, so I do end up hitting the seer there. I was using my ability there so I'd be able to get multiple swings without stopping in between. There are quite a few scenarios where that's ideal for survivors. So I'm going to go ahead and take the seer to the chair once again. Unfortunately, I was not able to hit the mercenary because he kind of snuck past me and used his elbow pads there. But I can still go ahead and throw down a peeper and look around for where a rescue might be coming from. And I actually end up finding the gravekeeper here. So I'm just going to wait for him to come to the chair here. So I know at some point he's going to get out, so that's when I'm going to choose to do this. And I do get a double hit. I double hit the rescuer, hit the seer. I used my note line there. It was perfectly timed, so I hit 2 different survivors with the same note. So that just kind of shows the power of a violinist camping. So now I'm going to take the seer back to the chair, and the seer is eliminated now. So now it's a 3-on-1, but there are 2 ciphers remaining, and it looks like the mechanic is working on one. I'm assuming her bot's somewhere else as well, but I don't have the slightest clue where the gravekeeper went, so I'm just going to go ahead and make my way to a cipher. And the gravekeeper is standing back up, so what you do if you can't find another survivor, just look for wiggling ciphers here. And I actually ended up downing the mechanic here. She was leaving her cipher primed there. And what I should have done there, this was a mistake of mine, I should have abnormal that cipher, switched a trump card there. It might have been that I had a cooldown there with the peepers, but I'm making my way back here so that I'm able to abnormal that cipher. But if there was a survivor right behind that, they could have just gone around and popped that. So now a survivor is going for the rescue. You see it's the mercenary here. And I'm using my berserker so I can follow up immediately with another note. I'm just going to work around this area here. I've got 2 survivors contained. There's only 1 cipher remaining. I hit the mercenary once again. They're getting a little bit of decoding at a time on the cipher here, but the mechanic decides to vault that pallet there, and that allows me to get an easy note on that survivor. And the mercenary is down, which forces the gravekeeper to come to the rescue. So I can sort of look for where that mercenary was down, and I see that he's right over here. So I'm going to go ahead and take him to a chair just to get some chair progress on him. I mean, I don't really have to camp him because I really want the mechanic to be eliminated so I can secure my draw. But if I can put the mercenary on the chair, that's good too. So I see that the gravekeeper's coming for the rescue here. And I knew he was going after mechanic at this point. And he's going to be making his way to the chair where the mercenary is on. If I were him, I would have been using my shovel at this point. And they're working on that cipher that's really close to me, and I know that, so I know I switched to abnormal. I should probably switch there pretty soon. But I also want to make sure that the mercenary isn't able to defend. Oh, I thought they were on this side. It turns out they were on the one that's next to factory here. But being that everybody's injured, the mechanic decodes pretty actually relatively slow. So that was a good elbow pad by the mercenary here. And I'm going to go ahead and just get a quick hit on it. I was trying to land something with the notes there, but I know I want to keep my chairing progress going, and I know it could take a while to down the gravekeeper. That was like the most useless elbow pad I've ever seen. So I'm going to go ahead and down the mercenary there. So that gravekeeper was actually trying to stall time by trying to heal him, but the mechanic wasn't quite there on cipher progress, so he actually came up out of his shovel to try to heal and stall for some time, but ended up that wasn't quite working out. So I saw that cipher machine was being decoded. The Gravekeeper is eliminated now, so I see the mechanic here, and I'm able to get a quick and easy down. And that is a 4-man for round 2. So now we're going to take a look at that last match. And when I spawn over here, what I do is I like making my way to this back corner here that's close to the gate. There's usually a survivor that spawns in this area, and it's usually, I would say, about a 40-second kite for survivors if they do things right, but it's overall not a great corner for survivors to be at. So I'm able to get a nice quick and easy hit on the Enchantress here. Red Church is one of my favorite maps to play Violinist on. It's a small map, so mobility, generally speaking, isn't an issue. There are some really great areas for the Violinist to be at because a lot of that area relies on tight kiting, and Violinist is a pretty good counter to tight kiting. So there are 3 survivors in this area. The Enchantress had a 3 stun, so she was going to do her stun or whatever. But I actually end up seeing the mechanic here, and that's definitely a higher priority target. I'm able to use my note there, and you can see I don't have any chairings done. But I've been dishing out lots of damage, which is going to force them to stop from decoding and start healing. So I'm just as happy with dealing a whole lot of damage there. So I was able to use my notes effectively here to get a nice quick down on the mechanic here. And that's going to form probably the forward to attempt to rescue at this point. And you can look around and see that's exactly what's happening here. I'm going to get a hit on the forward here. Now, the annoying thing about the Enchantress here is whenever she heals somebody, she also gains a stun. And there's last effort happening here, so I just ended up going with the quick hit because I knew I would have to get her anyways, catch up to her anyways, because there was 20 seconds where I wasn't able to chair. That was a good stun by the forward. He ended up hiding around the corner, except what the forward should have done was try to body block there. So the forward's no longer in a position to stun, but I am going to keep my eye out for him, make sure he doesn't try that again. And it looks like he's not going to keep harassing, so I'm able to get a second chairing on the mechanic here. I end up seeing the Enchantress here. I totally missed the Perfumer that went for the rescue. But I end up getting a hit on the survivor there anyways. So I'm just going to go ahead and down the Perfumer, force them to heal her. And you can see quite a bit of time has actually passed in this match, and there's still only 4 ciphers remaining because they've been forced to heal because I've been dishing out so much damage, even if it doesn't necessarily down the survivor. Now, another thing to keep in mind, though, is that whenever I hit the forward or any other survivor that she ends up healing, she ends up gaining stuns too, so that can stall out my game quite a bit as well. So I'm going to go ahead. The forward's body blocking, and I was able to get a hit on the forward there using the ultimate ability. And I know I don't want the forward to stun here, so I'm going to go ahead and I know he's probably going to end up running out of here anyways. The Enchantress is trying to heal, so I go ahead and double hit the Enchantress here. I know the Perfumer's been down for a long time, so I'm going to go ahead and just quick take her to a chair. I know the forward's probably going to quickly follow up with a rescue, but that doesn't really matter. That basically distracts him from disrupting me putting the mechanic on the chair. So that was kind of my overall goal there. Even if the Perfumer does end up getting rescued here, which it looks like is going to happen, I'm kind of surprised he didn't do that earlier. But I'm going to go ahead and hit the mechanic. Oh, the Enchantress actually ends up getting up and stunning me there. That was a good stun by the Enchantress. But I'm going to keep on going after the Perfumer, being that she's injured. She doesn't have a whole lot of kiting potential here. Let's see, did I actually end up losing here? Or, I guess so. So, I'm going to chase, looks like the Enchantress here. Which at this point, chasing just about any survivor would be alright. The Enchantress is now downed. The forward's not here to disrupt. And I've got a player on the chair. Now there's one cipher remaining, so you know that what that means. I gotta be in less of a camping mode and more in disrupting mode. And I see that the forward's way here, so watch what I do here. Hit way in advance. And then I can go ahead and get my note on the chair here. The forward knows he can't rescue at this point, which allows me to get an easy hit on the forward. And at this point, I was like, no cipher pop, no cipher pop. And I was really lucky that the Perfumer did not have a cipher ready. And that is a secured win as long as I just sit here and camp the chair. So now the Perfumer's making her way. And I see the footprints all up there, so I know she's got to be close. I'm going to spam my peepers here, and I end up getting visibility on the Perfumer here. And I use my ultimate ability, and the Perfumer is down, and that's the game. So before I close out this video, I would like to mention once again that my Club Mayhem is currently accepting applicants, and instructions are in to do so are in the official Mayhem Discord server, and the link to that server is in the description below, so don't forget to join the server today. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that video. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any other questions or comments, please let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.